Anyways, so you're the Protoss? How fancy, right? Alright, so you're Protoss versus Terran. And I just wanna point out your name on the overlay. Because your color is white and the overlay is... Can I? There we go. Okay. So you haven't... Well, alright. Now, if you would watch my guides, you would know this. And I'm gonna say this. Whenever I say... Okay, that's probably not a good acronym. WG. Alright. That means watch guide. It's something that I explain explicitly and repeatedly. So I'll just say WG. And that can even stand for Winter Gaming Watch Guides. Or some shit. But, WG... Make sure not to get gas first as Protoss. That's pretty much never good. That's just a basic thing. You don't need it early. It slows your gateway down. Are we still on the camera? I can't tell if we're on the... Okay, we're on the camera. Because you see, right now, you've got 108 gas and you just started your Cyber Core. And that Cyber Core is about 15 to 20 seconds later. And 15 to 20 seconds later on the Cyber Core is the difference between a Reaper coming in and killing 5 probes and a Reaper dying to an overcharge. Alright, WG, putting pylons in these locations does very little for you. 1, you don't need 2 additional pylons. 2, these locations do very little early on. The only real place you want to protect is your mineral line. Maybe eventually the front, but putting pylons here means you can warp in and overcharge the edges of your base that he can't really attack. That's about it. Whereas your mineral line is completely exposed. Also, Zealot first is usually a bad idea, especially if you didn't scout. And WG, core values. You want to get that Cyber Core and then your Mothership Core as soon as possible. You have the money, you're just not building it. And you never want a second Zealot. A first Zealot is barely ever worth it. A second Zealot is literally worse than any other unit out of the gateway once you get that Cyber Core. You're building probes in a reasonably... You have a lot of probe. Well, when you get into a game, I don't care if you're bronze or you're gold, have a favorite tech. I don't care. This is Bronze League. Whatever it is, whatever makes you happy, okay? If that's orange juice, or if it's cartoons, if it's finger painting, or if it's going for a Stargate, do whatever you need to do, but... Yeah, these pylons, yeah, you're going to have the... You don't need these pylons. These are useless pylons. And especially not to stop building probes with. The thing is, you're still ahead on probes. Okay, you're spending your money. You still want to be building probes. WG. Any tech at all, besides just gateways. But it's fine, you're spending your money. As long as you were building probes, you'd still be solidly gold. Okay, I'm gonna teach you something now. You can use Control-Click. If you use Control-Click, you can select all of a type of a unit on the screen. Now, I saw you click, 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 click open up warp gates. This is just a little tip, but it can be used in a lot of situations. But if I want to look at the selection below me, I know, I'm sorry about the overlay, but control-click probes, control-click zealots, control-click gateways, and you can immediately put them all in the warp gates instead of individually selecting each one. Okay, you're getting +1 air weapons. I do want to point out how you don't have any air units aside from a mothership core. It's not like it's really cutting into your trust fund, but... Okay, WG, but super pylons are pylons that are within range of a warp gate or a nexus. If their power field touches a warp gate or a nexus, then you're able to warp in 3 times faster. A regular pylon, without any of those connections, warps in 3 times slower, giving you this. As opposed to this. Thank you for that demonstration, you. Does he have hotkeys? I don't know. Doesn't matter that much, but use hotkeys. Well, now you're getting some forges. But you've been at 35 probes. Okay. Okay, this is just real sad to watch. That probe is trapped, and it's trying so hard. And that seems to be a travesty. Alright, we're gonna get some stargates. Okay. Here's what I want. In every single game you play from now on, you hover over the top right corner at the 6-minute mark. If you don't have 50 probes, you're doing it wrong. Alright? 50 probes by 6 minutes every game. The only time is, like, if they're in your base killing your probes, literally, that you shouldn't have that. But you haven't built... You've given up on probes, like, 4 minutes ago. It seems like... Oh, well, there you go. I stand corrected, but still. Now, alright, so WG, but from this point on, I'm just going to recommend you watch the guides, and then you play with yourself. And what that means, you go into a game against either very easy AI or no opponent at all, and you return the game, and you get maxed out as soon as possible with a reasonable build. You're getting 50 probes by 6 minutes. You're getting +1 attack by 6 minutes. You want to try to max out... If you can max out by 10 minutes as Protoss on, like, Immortals and Charge Lots and Stalkers or whatever the fuck you want, then you're easy gold. If you can max out by 9 minutes, that's, like, Diamond. But as a Bronze Leaguer, if you can max out at all, that's a good experience to have. And now, welcome to Bronze League Heroes, as we're going to find out what happens in the rest of this match. We'll see what TCS is doing with the classic Blood Boil setup of triple starport, siege tank, double NG bay with no NG bay upgrades, wall off with a bunker, and next to no units. Supply blocked at 62 out of 62 supply. So, oh my god! The Great Wall of Depots just got 8 depots longer. Really not walling off anything, but he's gonna have plenty of depots, and he's not gonna be well, we're gonna get there eventually. On the other side, Aneurysm, I'm not sure if he is or is not having an aneurysm, as both these players averaging around 35 APM. But we do see the 2x2 Noah's Ark build here with the double Robo, double Forge, double Stargate, and then an assortment of gateways pretty much everywhere. 4 gateways down there, 2x2. They warped in. We got more turrets coming up. The TPM is starting to skyrocket. I don't think the starports have produced anything yet, but they can whenever they feel so inspired. All right, the TPM continues to raise. Void Rays are coming out. Finally, that singular air weapons upgrade comes to fruition. A scan will scout. Will that cause any response? He will see. Did he see a Stargate? He didn't see any Stargates. If he had seen any of those Stargates, I think the turret count would just be off the charts right now. But it's still charted. It's still charted. All right. We do have a handful more. Is that Neo Steel frame and infantry weapons #1, and also high capacity fuel tanks, which is the medevac boost length upgrade, though he is not building any medevacs. So, unfortunately, he may or may not realize he might just be going down the line, because that's first in the list. Doesn't seem like anything else is queued up yet. But he's going to have high-capacity fuel tanks, Neo Steel frame, 2 of the these are the lost upgrades, all right? These are the upgrades that got left behind. No one really knows it. No one remembers them. They're the Ja Rule, all right, of upgrades. Oh my God. Well, it appears he is concerned about aerial defense. So we have a triple thick turret wall that will be built almost entirely by a single SCV. Hopefully he's getting some overtime pay. On the other side, we do have Aneurysm building what resembles a solid Protoss army. We'll see if he does anything with it at any point. All right, the APM skyrocketing, the average reaching 37 on the dot for either player. The sensor towers are up. The Neo Steel frame has completed, increasing the size and armor of those bunkers. We have a fleet beacon on the other side as Aneurysm, I believe, has scouted with maybe a single observer so far. And TCS has scanned once. So that is the extent of acknowledging there are 2 players in this game. We'll see if that acknowledgement does continue. There have been a grand total of 100 resources lost. We are 12 minutes in. And that would amount to the 25 minerals and 75 gas of a singular observer. The turret perimeter is expanded. As, well, on both sides, really. We have the pylon perimeter combined with the turret perimeter. The TPM is now, we have 20 turrets, about 1.7, 1.8. It's not record numbers, but those are definitely not rookie numbers either. On the other side, speaking of not rookie numbers, we're going from 2 all the way up to 7 Stargates. He does have the minerals, but the gas is still slightly lacking. 58 workers to 61, almost even in the economy. A Colossus on the way. A second Robo-Building and Immortal. These armies continue to muster. It's 134 to 160 supply. But I think, well, in any fight ever on the map at all that involves actually A-moving and no right-clicking, then Aneurysm will wipe the floor. But I have a sneaking suspicion TCS is pursuing an isolationist policy, as his turrets, his Neo Steel frame, oh my Jesus Christ! Welcome to Home Depot headquarters, as the defenses continue to... He kills his own reactor, or... No, he's trying to... He killed his own add-on to get the tanks through. So that way he could siege up the tanks to protect Home Depot HQ. You can... Well, priorities are important. On the other side, 4 bases have been taken by Aneurysm, as the probes take a bit of a smoke break while the Windows XP finishes loading. A mothership is on the way. I found it. TCS continues. He's even taken out the rocks nearest his base. He can't have anything that could potentially hamper his defense. Unfortunately, he did not log in the big game hunters, and he will run out of minerals and gas eventually. But fortunately, he has yet to lose any more than the 75 resources it took to kill his own reactor. So we do have a massive Sky Toss army, but remember, he will be attacking into 28 turrets, which do not have building armor or high-sec auto-tracking. The only upgrades, interestingly, that our Terran player has is Neo Steel Frame, Stim Pack, Combat Shields, Concussive Shells, +1 infantry weapons, and high-capacity fuel tanks. So, definitely an interesting talent build here out of this hero. We do see the Sky Toss army continuing 3 carriers at a time. He does not yet have Graviton Catapult for the Interceptor launch upgrade because he prefers at 34 APM to take it slow. It looks like he has indeed had an aneurysm, as the current APM is 0. Had to answer the door. Alright. +3 air weapons, Corvid Reactor, and every other upgrade in the book is now queued up on the Starport Tech Lab. It's got a lot of work to do. We do have a Cloaking Field for the Banshees, Hyperflight Rotors also for the Banshees, and recalibrated explosives for the Seeker missiles. Alright, both players have maxed out. Still 175 total resources have been lost in this match. The turret count continues to grow. This tank, well, he has one job, and he will be executing it the rest of his life. It appears Aneurysm, with that max out, is confident to attack, despite having almost literally no information whatsoever about what his opponent has been doing for the past over quarter hour. On the other side, Interceptors, still no Graviton Catapult, 212 with +3 air weapons, +2 shields, and +3 ground weapons on the way. So, a lot of upgrades coming out here for our Protoss hero, but unfortunately he's going to be going up against some of the most solid defense I think we've ever seen. Alright. He is within range of the sensor tower. No scans from TCS yet. He has almost mined out of his top 3 bases. He still has, oh my god, well... just urban development, urban sprawl in TCS's base is a continual problem. The engineering bays will be attacked. The tanks on the high ground worth their weight in gold and minerals. The interceptors will be launched one at a time. But the turrets are being pushed through. The tanks are eventually being purified. The mothership, well, he doesn't really have any detection. I have no idea where the Ravens went. The right-click, the move command. No, you need to be attacking, not moving. It's a disaster. Aneurysm comes in. The carriers will be taken out. The Vikings shelling from the back. The torpedoes laying into the carriers. Actually, some nice target fire coming out. And Aneurysm will successfully lose a multi-10,000 resource Protoss Sky Arm. Well, wait. The Void Rays somehow managed to come out on top, as the anti-micro from TCS is quite strong. The command center will be lifted. He will evacuate. Unfortunately, there are a grand total of 160 resources left here, so not a huge concern. No high-sec auto-tracking or building armor, but the turrets are still quite good at anti-air. It appears the Void Rays are continually going to target anything but the thing shooting at them. Hyperflight Rotors is on the way. 2 Banshees have survived. And the supply is now dead even. 122 to 121. Somehow. Some way. Alright. Now, there are somewhere in the realm of dozens. The unemployment rate in TCS's base is skyrocketing. And with it, his infrastructure soon will be crumbling. But he is building. There are 0 air weapons, ship weapons, or plating upgrades for these Vikings. They are 0-0. They're fresh off the lot, but they're an older model. No, none of the fancy features. They don't actually even have air conditioning, so that's kind of shit. Of course, you don't need much air conditioning on Blood Boil, but that's neither here nor there. All right, more carriers in the production tab. That will bring them up to 10 once they complete. All right. Double NG Bay will be rebuilt. He didn't finish off his upgrades there. Hyperflight What happened? Oh, wait. These upgrades just take so insanely long. Hyperflight rotors takes 102 minutes. It takes 2 minutes. One of the longest upgrades in the game. It does seem Aneurysm has taken a 4th and a 5th base. We will continue. TCS making complete use of his Terran given ability to lift his command centers. Of course, he does need that turret protection. We do have recalibrated explosives for the grand total of 0 Ravens in the production tab. The turret count was reduced with that last attack, but it will climb once again, maintaining a solid 1 to 1.5 TPM. Aneurysm has 10,000 minerals, but only about 800 in the gas. We'll have to see if he decides to invade TCS's territory in order to take his gas. 2-1 is on the way on the ground for the 2 Marauders, one of which is a hop, skip, and a broken ankle away from death. As round 1 was devastating for either side. Aneurysm losing 11,000 resources. And TCS suffering 9,500 in the loss column. Round 2 might be the battle to end all battles. The carrier count, the upgrades, we've got 3, 2, 2, 3 across the board on the bottom. Again, 0-0 on the Vikings. The first fight, Aneurysm needed to find his footing. The second fight, I feel, could be quite one-sided. No Graviton Catapult quite yet for that, some might say, critical carrier launch speed upgrade. Wait, does he have it? No, he doesn't. I can't see it on the fleet beacon. But anyways, he doesn't have the upgrade. But he is going to have double-digit carriers. We're looking at about 16. As both these players wind up for another fight. We got some long-distance mining about to happen. Aneurysm with 1,100 minerals in the bank. I take that back. That was, I retract that statement. He has 11,000 in the bank. That 0 makes a big difference. These probes are on a pilgrimage. Back to your originally scheduled programming. Okay. Looks like they just swung off target. The carriers do move out. Another mothership will be remade. Round 2, Mark II. We do finally, for the very first time, have ship, weapons, plating, and mech weapons level 1 being researched by TCS. The carriers, he's finally maxed out. I think he's just waiting for Mama to come home. Another command center being rebuilt. There are no resources to defend. The army supply is 127 to 76. But how is this Terran army supply distributed? It's 2 medevacs, 6 banshees, 25 Vikings, 11 tanks, 2 marauders, and 12 marines. I mean, 25 Vikings against 16 fully loaded carriers, 4 void rays, and a mothership. What could go wrong? Alright, the fleet comes together. All right. Okay, it looks like they're inspired. He's going into the heart of the defense. But, I mean, that's just probably the best way to get through here. Here come the Vikings. He knows he's in range. The Vikings start to unload. They do not have their plating yet. The target fire isn't perfect. In fact, it's more like non-existent. And 7 Vikings, where once there were 25, is kind of indicative of the situation in this game. All Aneurysm has to do is prevent himself from having an aneurysm for the next minute. And he should be able to call. He's move commanding. He's move commanding. All right. There's the A move. Eventually, all the interceptors will be launched despite the lack of the graviton catapult. The Marines actually getting a nice beat on this mothership here. Will not quite be able to take it out. And it finally feels like the Golden Armada will stumble and flail its way towards a victory against TCS, the Turtle Terran. As more time, it's now 122 to 196 supply. Those Widow Mines are not burrowing. I'm not sure it would make that much of a difference. There's plenty of money to remake these interceptors. The starports are being targeted down as the Golden Armada purifies the entirety of Blood Boil. A few more turrets are targeted as well. The Widow Mines will eventually burrow. There are 2 more Widow Mines in production. And I guess the plus of not having Graviton Catapult is that not all your interceptors are launched to be killed by Widow Mines. It looks like the tank is desperately trying to take down the rocks so the SCVs can escape. But the rocks are so hard. The SCVs retreat. The tank is still trying. It's trying to let them go. It's trying to save its people. But the SCVs are looking death in the sky. And hope is quickly running out. Though it seems the turrets are doing a pretty good job of taking down this mothership. So that could be... Oh, there's 2 Banshees on the other side. This is taking off. There goes the mothership. The carriers. He takes down the rocks. The SCVs will escape. A Cinderella story. Not sure what their long-term survivability is going to be, but they will live for now. The 2 Banshees are taking down. The 2 Banshees are directing all the attention of Aneurysm. The Widow Mines try to burrow. That was a little optimistic. The orbital will lift to the corner. The Banshees will take down one of the Nexi. Only 20,500 minerals and 3,100 gas in the bank. More barracks being built. The optimism is inspiring out of TCS, but the realism is non-existent. As the turrets continue to rack up the kills, the interceptor losses have been quite heavy. He's lost 160 interceptors so far. And counting. 2 motherships, 4 carriers. But it is still 170. Another mothership. Round 3 is on the way. As the carrier is still trying to figure... The Banshees... 12 kills, 10 kills, and a Nexus. Oh my... The turrets. He's trying! He's trying to build the defense! He doesn't have the 2 upgrades that actually benefit turrets, but I'm pretty sure the carriers will be able to make it through the final gauntlet, the final stand of TCS. His TPM is high. His tenacity is high, but his unit count is precious low. Yes. Yes, it is. I don't know. 64 turrets have died in the making of this victory. He's still going. He's still trying. But the enemy is at the gates. Well, flying above the gates and swarming with interceptors is more accurate, but He has a dream. And that's the game. No GG. He had a dream. Thank you for sending in that replay for coaching Noob-matic. I hope you learned something.